Today we're going to take a walk through the gardens here at the greenhouse and check out the various stages of the Panicle Hydrangeas. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and it is the end of September right now, and some of the hydrangeas are in their prime, others are past prime, but I think it's really fun to just kind of see where they're at here as far as the beautiful coloration. We are located in a zone 5B6A in West Michigan, so let's go ahead, take a walk through the garden and just check out all the stages of the hydrangeas. The first one we have here is the Quick Fire Fab Hydrangea. So this was one of the first hydrangeas in the Panicle or Hardy Hydrangea family to start showing its color, primarily its reddish tones of color during the summer. This plant has held its coloration beautifully from, I think it was probably about mid-July or so that we started to see it starting to pink up a little bit. And like I said, now it's the end of September and it is absolutely just so vibrant. The flowers are kind of at that, I'm going to say dried-ish stage right now, so they're not super fresh. But even though they are starting to dry down, the color is holding and is just absolutely magnificent. This plant, I believe, has been in this garden now for about 3 years. So to kind of give you an idea of the size of the plant after 3 years, it's about 4 foot tall and 4 foot wide. And it is just absolutely an anchor in this garden with this magnificent coloration. This next bed here has 3 different hydrangeas in it, and these were literally just planted, I believe, in June of this year. So there's not a lot of size to these plants, but even though there's not a lot of size, they definitely are starting to give us some color. So the first one we have here, this is the Little Lime Punch, and we are gonna go ahead and see these in a bigger form later on in the tour. But I did want to just show you these. This is the first year, planted from a gallon, and these little guys are already blooming and blooming beautifully. The next one we have is the Little Quick Fire. And again, the plant is super small, and these flowers are small compared to what they'll be as the plant matures. But look at that beautiful coloration on there too. Really nice, bright, fiery red. As we head down a little bit, this next trio we're seeing, these are the Pufferfish Hydrangeas. And the Pufferfish Hydrangeas actually do not take on that red or pink coloration at all. So they'll get their beautiful white blooms, and then this is what they look like when they start to fade, is they kind of still just kind of keep that white coloration, and we're really not seeing hardly any shades of pink on them. All right, let's go check out a few more as we walk through the gardens. This is a trio planting of 3 of the Firelight Tidbit hydrangeas. And you can see there's a lot of kind of variation going on these plants. They are mature right now. These have been in here for approximately 3 years as well. And they're only about 2.5 foot tall, 2.5 foot wide. Just a nice, perfect, compact hydrangea. So you can see on the Firelight Tidbit, there are some of the flowers that are kind of turning more brown. You're seeing some nice bright pink blooms, as well as a lot of fresh white blooms. So it's just the various stages of the blooms. The white ones, those are blooming off of new growth that has emerged. And so there's a lot of different, like I said, variation or timing of the blooms on these plants. The thing I like about Firelight Tidbit, we're gonna kind of move around so you can see the other ones, is that they are so very compact in the garden. So if you are looking for a Panicle or Hardy Hydrangea that really doesn't get very large, these Firelight Tidbit, I think, are just the perfect size for almost any little garden space that you might have. So here we actually can see them from the back side. Now, I must say that some of the browning we're seeing here isn't necessarily the fault of the plant. This garden bed up here, in certain spots, doesn't get the adequate water it needs. So some of that browning could be because these plants didn't get as much water as what they needed later on here in the season. But let's go take a closer, oh, look at here. I've been finding a lot of just really cute frogs in the garden. Let's go take a closer look there to see those beautiful blooms. A very fun little plant. All right, we've got plenty more hydrangeas to talk about, so let's keep going. Bobo hydrangeas are the hydrangeas that when somebody pulls in here at Garden Crossings, this is the first thing that they're gonna see. So as we walk closer up to the Bobo hydrangeas, These are planted in our islands here in our parking lot. These are about, probably about 4 foot tall, maybe 5 foot wide at this point. And they are right now past their prime, but still a lot of beautiful coloration going on. You can see they're not quite as intense red as some of the others that we've seen, but just a really full coverage on the plant. And it's not just the one that I'm here focusing in on, it's all of them. Just vibrant coloration. So like we saw in the Firelight Tidbit, on these Bobos, you're seeing the different bloom cycles going on. So the ones that are a little bit more brown and spent, those were blooming earlier on. And the ones that are presenting more white at this time, those started blooming just a little bit later. One thing about Bobo Hydrangea is the florets are just a little bit smaller than what they are on some of the other panicles that we'll be looking at today. But this, man, for the longest time until that Firelight Tidbit came out, this was the hydrangea I would talk about all the time. Right now is the perfect time to get out in the garden and harvest some of your Panicle Hydrangeas. If you are somebody who enjoys making porch pots like we do. So we actually have the girls going out and they're trimming the flowers. Right now they are trimming on a Limelight Hydrangea, and they're looking for the nice big flowers, trimming nice long stems. That way when we use them in the porch pots, we've got plenty of stick to stick into the soil. And what do you have there, Jen? Let's show them your bouquet. Oh, that is gorgeous. So what we're gonna do is we are going to just hang these on one of our shipping carts to let them dry. So before she does that, she's gonna strip all the leaves off. So I'll just, yeah, you can see how she just did that. Just ran her hands down, got the leaves off, and then we'll go ahead and hang those to dry until we're ready for them when we start doing our Christmas planters. So if you wait too long though, the problem's gonna be is they're gonna turn brown and you won't have that nice coloration that we currently have. So yeah, she's actually showing us here. If we wait too long, we're gonna see a lot of that brown going on. But we can also kind of turn them and kind of keep the nice side forward as well. So yeah, it's always a fun project to go out and get some of these babies trimmed up. All right, so like I said, they are trimming on the Limelight Hydrangea. So you can see the coloration right now of Limelight. It's got a nice pink, kind of a dusty pink going on. The flowers, pretty much the whole plant. There's 2 Limelight back there. The whole plant is pretty uniform with its coloration. So they're looking pretty good. And we'll just actually scoot over here to look at Firelight. Since it's right here, Firelight has very vibrant flowers, the nice, really bright magenta blooms. And I'm going to try to get that Limelight in the background so you can kind of compare the two. There you go. So Limelight's in the back, Firelight's in the front. Firelight gets about 6 foot tall and 6 foot wide. So it's a nice size shrub. And these in this garden here, these are very mature plants. They've been in for, let's say probably 6+ years. So these are very mature, as are those Bobo we just saw too. Those have been in that landscape planting for over 6 years as well. All right, we've got more to show you because we love our hydrangeas. As long as we're walking past them, I'm going to show you the smooth or the arborescent hydrangeas as well. So here we have the Invincible Spirit 2 hydrangeas. These were absolutely gorgeous around 4th of July. And these for a long time the blooms have been kind of just lackluster, like what they're looking like now. From a distance, they look like they're lime, so I guess it's not too bad. But you know, when they're supposed to be pink, when they were pink, they were gorgeous. This time of year, it just feels, a little lackluster because you're not seeing that bright pink coloration. So this is the current state there of the Invincible Spirit Hydrangea. So what we'll do is we will come through and cut all of those blooms off. They bloom on the new growth, so next year we'll have a fresh new set of blooms again. But the one that this here is actually Incredible Hydrangea. Grouping here of Incredibles. But the one I wanted to show you is actually right behind it there. That is the Pinky Winky Hydrangea. That one starts off with white flowers, more of like a lace cap type of look to it. And as those white flowers start to age, they transition from white to pink. Now the white is now gone, and so it is just a fully pink flower. It is looking pretty nice. That plant is huge. It's over 10 foot tall. It's been in here as long as we've had the garden center, so over 18 years now, and it just continues year after year to really be a very vibrant focal center point here in this garden. It's so tall. Here's another Firelight Hydrangea, just to show you again. It wasn't just the one that was beautiful. They all have those very, very vibrant, beautiful magenta blooms. We've got some more Incredible here next to it. Here is a Tough Stuff Hydrangea, and this was blooming earlier in the season. This one, there's a few little blooms still poking through, but this one bloomed off of the old growth early. It put on new growth and did another set of blooms, and now it's trying to put on another set of growth, but we won't get any more blooms this year because it is fall and things are starting to change. Speaking of change, do you see the fall color starting to happen on this Tough Stuff Hydrangea? Loving just those little kisses of burgundy there on that foliage. And that is one thing that is really nice with these Tough Stuffs, is they do get some pretty fabulous fall foliage if they don't get hit by the frost first. So here's a bud it's gonna try, but I'm just not sure we're gonna have enough warmth left in the season for that one to fully open up. All right, we're gonna head on over and check out some gorgeous specimens of Little Lime Punch. Well, I know that having these beautiful, vibrant color hydrangeas isn't obtainable for everyone, depending on where you live. I think that's what's gonna affect the amount of beauty that your hydrangeas give off in the late season. But I mean, there's always that possibility and that potential. And especially for those of us in the north, I think it's important to be able to see the different colorations that we can get with the hardy hydrangeas. So here we have a grouping of 5 of the Little Lime Punch, and these were absolutely beautiful about a month ago. They're great right now. They're gorgeous right now. But man, a month ago they were in their prime. But even though they're not currently in their prime, they are still putting on a fabulous show of color here in this garden, and we have been just really impressed with the coloration of the Little Lime Punch. These have been in this garden now for, I believe this is going to be the 3rd. We're ending the 3rd summer, and they're about 3 foot tall and 3 foot wide, and at maturity they'll get around 6 foot tall. So they're halfway there. But once they are fully mature, this is just going to be a stunning quarter here to this garden. If you have any questions or comments on hydrangeas, please feel free to leave them below. I should add, all the Panicle Hydrangeas or hardy hydrangeas we were talking about today, these all bloom off of the new growth. So we can trim them in the fall or we can trim them in the spring, and they will reliably bloom for us again next season. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.